Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, it is so great to have you. I'm Antoinette, a New Zealander living in the beautiful wine region of Lower Franconia, Germany. So I'm a mother to 3 bilingual, multicultural children who were born and so far raised here in Germany. And on my channel, I like to talk a lot about raising my kids here. So in this video today, I am going to be sharing 5 things that really impress me about German kids. And I just want to make it clear, when I make videos like this, I am not implying that all German kids are the same, but I have noticed a little bit of a pattern, and I am going to be focusing on certain characteristics or qualities in German children that I personally have noticed as a New Zealander living here. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, then please keep watching. I'm going to be jumping into that really soon. First, I would like to give a huge thanks to today's sponsor, OutSchool. OutSchool is an incredible virtual educational platform for kids aged 3 to 18 with the widest variety of highly qualified teachers, topics, and classes to suit any interest. Your child can choose their classes based on their terms, and whatever they're interested in, you're probably going to be able to find it on OutSchool. OutSchool is the perfect opportunity for my children to get this quality English language exposure, and I'm super excited about it. So my 11-year-old daughter Amelia is crazy about the game Roblox right now. She actually signed up for a Roblox coding game design course, and oh my goodness, she is enjoying it so much. So each week students will meet to design and code a new game on Roblox Studio. She's also interested in taking some gymnastics classes, which I think will be really fun for her. So if OutSchool sounds like something your child may be interested in, then I'm going to leave a link for where you can check it out in my description below. I also have a code for you which will give you 20% off your first OutSchool class. Okay guys, so let's jump into it. This is in no particular order. I have noticed that many German children are very emotionally intelligent and quite wise beyond their years. So I've got a really good example of this. There was an incident that happened just last weekend actually that made me think about this topic. So last weekend my husband and I took our 2 boys aged 3 and 7 to a local skate park. This was the first time they'd been to a skate park. They thought it was amazing, and my 7-year-old Matteo, he took his scooter and he was scooting up and down the little ramps, and he was just having such a good time. And at that skate park there were quite a lot of older children, sort of aged between, I would say, maybe 10 and 13. Some of them were on scooters, some of them were on skateboards, but anyway, there was one boy, I would say he would have been about 12 or maybe 13, and he was on a scooter and he came down this quite steep ramp, and he kind of lost his balance or something. He was going super fast and he smashed into Matteo. The pole from the boy's scooter just whacked into Matteo's forehead and he screamed. He had the biggest boil, like big huge bump and bruising on his head. I was in shock. My husband Rob got up straight away and ran to Matteo to see if he was okay, and his natural instinct was to kind of tell off the boy and just say, you know, watch where you're going. And the boy was shocked himself and he just ran off and he was nowhere to be seen, and I felt a little bit sorry for the kid because it wasn't his fault. But anyway, all of the kids at the skate park that saw this happen raced over to us, and they were so concerned about Matteo, and they were just asking if there was anything they could do to help. A little girl came over and said, do you want me to get you some ice? There's a drink stand over there and I can go and get some. And we said, oh, that would be amazing, thank you so much. And the kids were like crowding around and they were all just so concerned. A boy came over and said, you might need to take him to the doctor. How is he feeling? Is he feeling dizzy? Is he confused? I thought this was amazing coming from like an 11-year-old boy. Then another girl came over and asked Matteo if he was okay and said, oh, I don't think it was on purpose. The boy, you know, he lost control and it wasn't on purpose. purpose. And we automatically felt really bad for the poor boy that smashed into Matteo. And so my husband said to the girl, can you please find that boy and tell him that Matteo is okay and we know it was just an accident? And she said okay, and she ran off and she found the boy who was hiding, and he came over to us, which I thought was very brave, and he shook his hand and he said, I'm really sorry, that was an accident, and are you okay? I could see that it took a lot for this boy to come over and build up enough courage to, you know, apologize and also to face Rob, who had snapped at him. Rob also said, I'm sorry for telling you off, I know it was an accident, I just got a bit of a shock. Rob said that was really nice of you to apologize, we really appreciate it. And Matteo all of a sudden just kind of perked up, and he felt really important that this cool, you know, older kid was, you know, shaking his hand and, you know, asking him if he was okay. But because the kids were so kind and caring, it didn't put Matteo off the skate park, and I think he will give it another go in a couple of weeks. So anyway, Matteo is fine now. We kept an eye on him that whole afternoon and the next few days, and he didn't have any headaches or confusion or anything like that. It was just a little bit of a bump, and we didn't end up taking him to the doctor. We would have if it was any worse than that and if we noticed any symptoms. But yeah, I had to bring up that because I was just so impressed by these children and their level of emotional maturity, and I think these children had just been raised really well. Okay, so something else that really impresses me about German kids is that in general, most German kids follow rules and they're pretty well behaved. So obviously not all kids follow rules, and you know, kids are kids, you know, I don't expect kids to be perfect. But I do feel as though in general many German kids are very good at following rules, and I think this all goes back to the freedom and independence German parents give their children. Because these children are taught really valuable life skills very early on, they are trustworthy and confident, and they realize, you know, I'm going to get freedom if I follow the rules, and they have sort of clicked onto that. So I think that's really great. So just say you're at a zebra crossing, you will see German kids like waiting until you see the little green man before they cross. Even if there's no cars coming, they're not going to just scoot across the road, they will wait. They love to follow the rules. German parents will say, you can go to the playground on your own, but you have to be back at this time. It's so cute. When some of the kids in our neighborhood come and play, they will come to me first and they'll say, my mum said that I have to be home in 1 hour, and they make sure they follow the rules. And so they'll play for a little while and they'll come back and say, oh, what time is it? And I'll say, oh, you've got 10 minutes left, and they'll say okay. And then when I tell them that 1 hour is up, then they will go with no fuss. And oh, I just think it's so cute, and it just makes life so much easier when kids actually follow the rules. I'm not saying my kids do all the time, but I just feel like in general, German kids, they've kind of worked it out. They get quite a bit of freedom, but they have to follow certain rules. Something else that really impresses me about German kids is that I feel as though, in general, a lot of German kids are very just respectful. And whenever I have German kids in my home, and I have mentioned this before in another video, but I love that they always take their shoes off and they always say thank you and please, obviously, you know, bitte, danke. If they want a drink, they'll come up and ask me. If they've made a mess with the toys, you know, the Legos everywhere, they will always clean up before they leave, and there's just usually no issues at all when I have German kids coming to play at my place. And I think it's just a sign of children who are raised really well and have parents with really strong morals and values. And I've noticed this a lot with German children. They're just very respectful. They've been raised like this, and I think it's a very important quality to have. Something else that really impresses me about German children is the fact that I've noticed many German children are very curious and inquisitive. For example, just say I'm at the playground with my children. Quite often, if a German child will hear me speaking English with my kids, they will be really interested, and they'll come up and they'll say, oh, you speak English, and they will ask me questions, where are you from? They may try to speak to me themselves in English and try and practice the English that they know, and they'll ask me questions like, how long does it take to get to New Zealand, and do they have supermarkets in New Zealand, do they only speak English in New Zealand, and things like that. And I just think it's amazing that little kids are interested and curious about different countries and cultures. Maybe German kids are just not used to hearing the English language spoken, which is why they're interested and want to, you know, ask questions about it. But either way, I just find it really cute and just really cool that they are even interested in the fact that I'm speaking a different language to them. You know, I feel as though New Zealand kids, they're just in their own little world, and it wouldn't even occur to them to ask questions about somebody's language or culture. And last but not least, something else that really impresses me about German kids is the fact that many German kids are just very confident and very capable. I think that kind of ties in a little bit with what I talked about with German parents sort of teaching their children really important, valuable life skills very early on. Letting children take risks on the playground, this is giving them the opportunity to develop their gross motor skills. Also, many German parents will let their small children walk to the bakery to get some bread all by themselves. This teaches them all sorts of skills, you know, direction, how to get to a certain place, how to talk confidently to somebody to order, you know, the bakery items, how to handle the money. When children are allowed to do things like this, it just builds up their confidence so much. You'll also see a lot of really small German kids riding bicycles without trainer wheels, and I think that's amazing. You'll see like 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds just whizzing past on their bike, and it's like, oh my gosh, that child is so small and they can ride a bike. German parents know what their children are capable of. They give them all sorts of opportunities to develop these skills. They put trust in their children. Also, the incident at the skate park, those children were just so confident to come over and, you know, ask if Matteo was okay, offer to get ice, offer to help him in any way. And it takes a lot of confidence to come up to a stranger to do that, especially in a situation like that, like a really kind of stressful situation. And that little boy who could have easily been told off again for smashing into Matteo came and, you know, walked over and actually apologized. And I just think that took a lot of bravery. So many German children are just very confident and capable, and obviously it has a lot to do with the way they are raised. So guys, I have come to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Before I go, I just wanted to remind you, if you are interested in checking out Outschool, if you think this is something your child might be interested in, then I will leave a link for where you can do so in my description below. You can also find a discount code there, which will give you 20% off your first Outschool class. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It really helps out my channel. I would love you to consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. I know that so many of you who watch my videos are not actually subscribed, so if you would consider subscribing, that would mean the world to me. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, and I will see you again really soon. Bye!